All right. Hi there, Earth Science class. Hope you're all having a wonderful day and getting along well in our time of online learning. Today, we're going to look at the idea of light pollution and why this would be an issue to not only astronomers, but to other people as well. So if we go ahead and take a look at my notes here, section 2, light pollution, and we're going to start with this image. If you take a look at this, it's pretty clear what light pollution is. So this is the same shot before and after a power outage. Of course, when there's a power outage, move my screen out of the way here. When there's a power outage, you lose all of the street lights, most of the home lights. There might be some security lighting that has a battery backup, but you can see a drastic difference in the sky. If you look at the before picture, you can maybe see a couple stars, but there's a pretty bright light down here in the corner, and you're not seeing much else. In the after image, my goodness, you can see this is a whole stretch of the Milky Way. You can see a lot of stars and a lot of stuff in outer space once we get rid of the light. So what is light pollution? Well, light pollution is light from cities that's bright enough to mask stars. Well, what do we mean mask? We mean cover up, right? If you have too bright of light, you start losing the fainter stars. And again, as cities grow, more light is produced. If you pay attention at night, you can pretty clearly from Brainerd see the light from Lincoln. If you know what you're looking for, you can probably even pick out the light from like Wahoo and maybe even Omaha. If you pay attention, if it's a nice cloudy night, nice low set of clouds, you can see the light reflected off the big cities nearby pretty easily. And this is a problem. I mean, most of the light produced in cities is wasted. Well, what does that mean? Let me go on to the next slide and show you what that means. All right. So here is a normal housing scene, right? We have a street light here, we have a house, and we have maybe some clouds up here because it's a cloudy night. The point of the street light is, of course, to light the street. So we have this area down here. That's the area we want to be actually lit for whatever reasons. Driving issues, security issues, whatever. But if you look, there's this big cone to either side that is a lot of wasted light. Let's say that you live in this house and this is your room right here. You would probably need curtains at night because at night that light would be shining into your room. They've done a lot of studies. They find that too much light messes with people's sleep patterns. So you would start needing to have curtains and stuff just to block out the light just from this one street light. And then there's light that's always going upward. They'll be bounced off the clouds and reflect back down. And that's the one that's really a problem for the astronomers. So we have this idea of misdirected light. And remember, light isn't free, right? We have to build the stuff already. You have to pay for the electricity to run the light bulbs. It costs estimated $3 billion annually to have all this light going the wrong way. If we could focus the light and get it down to where we actually need it, that would help a lot of things out and be cost efficient. And then, of course, we talked about this a little bit already, excess light affects sleep patterns of species, including humans. They're finding a lot of nocturnal species start having what they call sleep confusion, right? They can't tell if it's day or night. This has been a real problem with sea turtles. Sea turtles at night usually crawl onto the beach to lay their eggs. Once the eggs hatch, they are usually drawn to a bright light source because that's going to be the moon, and the moon's going to be reflecting off the water, and they get drawn towards the water that way. If there's too bright of a city nearby, the baby sea turtles when they hatch are drawn towards the city light, go the wrong way, and end up being lunch for some predator. So this has been a cause of a lot of damages to ecosystems because of weird things with too much light. Talked about that diagram already. So we have some solutions to this. Oops, one too far. And some of them are pretty simple. Let's go and talk about number 2 first. I'm going to take these backwards. Install hoods on billboards and floodlights. Well, what does that mean? Well, what a hood does is focus the light downward more. So instead of having, say, a billboard with lights shining up on the billboard and illuminating the billboard that way, if you put the lights on the top and hood them, put a top over them, so all the lights directed on the billboard, you're actually wasting less light. Of course, this does make it a little more difficult to service. They're higher above the ground, but in the long run, you'll be saving cost on efficiency, and it'll be helping out the environment because, you know, light is a pollutant. For astronomers, you can do something called installing a sodium light. And all a sodium light is a special type of light bulb that scientists can filter out. So if you think of this like sunglasses, right? You put on sunglasses, it filters out some of the light so it's dimmer, so you don't get the bright light, so you don't hurt your eyes. Same idea, but more specific. The sodium wavelengths can be filtered out of the light. So basically, if they're all sodium lights, you put this filter on a telescope, it takes out the light and the sodium colored light, and you can still see the stars. It's actually like a filter. The problem is these end up being kind of a yellowy light, and people don't like yellow light for some reason. I think it looks weird. Good, bad, or indifferent, that's kind of the way it is. So your assignment, right now, let me get to the right page. Going to be on classroom page. You have one of 2 choices. I'm going to leave it up to you. You can either write a letter to the editor, 3 paragraphs, explaining what light pollution is, explaining why it's a problem, and presenting a plan on how to reduce it. I give you a sample letter down here at the bottom so you can see what the letter to the editor looks like. That kind of stuff. Or, which is probably what you ended up doing, design a poster on light pollution. Must contain a slogan. Well, what's a slogan? I'm loving it, right? McDonald's, right? A slogan, something, a catchy saying that helps them to remember the problem. You know, give a hoot, don't pollute. Only you can prevent forest fires. Those would all be slogans, right? Image depicting the problem, so you have some imagery with it, and then a couple of sentences just explaining what light pollution is, arranged in a pleasing pattern, right? Yeah, I think that's it for today. So again, if you have any questions or want to know anything else, go ahead and get a hold of me. Have a great day.